What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to The Awakening World, our Saturday night show. We've been doing this now for over 4 years, coming together as family, as Global Peace Tribe, to really be inspired, to meet amazing people doing amazing things, and really to remember that we really are creating an awakening world. This show is all about inspiration. And I'm starting off tonight's show sharing that with you because I've chosen a topic, which is, what does it take to create an awakening world? What is our vision for an awakening world? So I've hand-selected some of my favorite guests from the past to come back and share their tips, their tools, their practices. And we also want to hear from you. We want to hear from you in the audience. And a reminder for everybody that is watching on Facebook and our different broadcast partners, come on in, come join us. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, click register for the new season, come on in, you'll get the Zoom room links right away, and come on into the Zoom room link so we can interact with you directly. And for those of you that are in the Zoom room already, let us know your thoughts, your inspirations for what a vision for an awakened world looks like, what you're doing to create an awakening world. And I definitely will look forward to sharing some of those comments coming into the chat box. But let me share with you who we've got with us tonight, because we've got some really wonderful, wonderful people. And then we're going to go to our beloved brother, Omashar, for an opening song. But Mirabai Devi is back with us. And she is a wise, wise elder and wonderful woman. And it's such a blessing to have her with us. Thank you, Mirabai. And she's going to lead things off for us in a little bit. And I've invited Karina Angela back. We met her recently on one of our Authors That We Love show, and I was so impressed with what she had to say about an awakening world. I thought, well, she's a perfect person to come on. So welcome back, Karina, and thanks for being with us again. And what's remarkable is this woman is multi-talented. You're going to hear her sing, you're going to hear her speak. And she also wrote a book called The Awakening World. Isn't that something? So rather perfect that we've got Ray Amana on with us, and looking forward to introducing you to our Awakening World audience.
Thank you.
Well, we've got to have at least one man, and I chose the great Kurt Kruger. Kurt has a lot of tools. We've had him on a few times. You know that Kurt always brings a lot of joyfulness as well as very specific tools for what he creates. So welcome, Kurt. Great to have you with us. And we have a new musical friend who's with us tonight. And we're really I'm looking forward to sharing the beautiful sounds and energy of Michael Shervat, who's ready with his guitar. So, Michael, we're looking forward to meeting you. And we are going to conclude the show with a beautiful KES group healing. Pia Avia is back with us. I think this is her third or fourth time, and always takes us into a very beautiful state of consciousness. Coming to us all the way from Iceland. But since we last had her on the show, I got to be with you in person. We were together at a Twin Ray retreat in Ashland in March. So it was really wonderful to have multiple meals with Pia Avia, get to know her. And so Pia, it's really good to have you back with us. Thank you so much. And as we always love to get the show going, our beloved brother Omar Shar, with his English background, his rainbow background, his Shakespeare tree. A wonderful song to get us started.
You've taken the words right out of my mouth. Welcome and namaste, everybody. And what a great show we have tonight. Holy smoke, some beautiful, beautiful people. And so this song is called What If? What if, there truly was an awakening world? What a concept. Here we are, it's happening, too late. So I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to do this and this and that. I think I'm ready. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. What if we could find a way to wipe away all tears and fears, all broken hearts, to clear the way for a brand new start? Now that we see and know the way to lift our day and shine the light for all to see, the way back home and the way to be free. Let our love lead the way. Let the light shine through all. Let our hearts and minds be free. As we rise up from the fall, there is a way to see again, to be again, to know the truth and smile again. With an open heart we feel safe again. And now that we're free and we see that the way is to let our love show us a new way to be, and we relish the chance to be part of the dance that will recreate the world anew. What if we could find a way to wipe away all tears and fears, all broken hearts, to clear the way for a brand new start? Let our love lead the way. Let the light shine through all. Let our hearts and minds be free. As we rise up from the fall,
again, to be again, to know the truth and smile again. With an open heart we feel safe again. Safe again.
Beautiful. Let's all give him a big twinkle. We've got a Global Peace Tribe gallery view twinkle going on there, everybody. And look at all these
Thank
wonderful
you.
folks.
Getting way twinkle. Thank you.
And thank you, everybody, for moving and grooving to the music. And those of you who have your cameras on, sure do appreciate that. I'm going to go right into the show because we've got a great group of people tonight. And we're going to start things off with Mirabai Devi. And this is a very multi-talented woman, travels all over the world. She is a heart-centered inspirational speaker, a channel and conduit for the divine light, a global healer, an author, and the founder of her own Mirabai Devi Foundation, which we're going to learn all about tonight. You know, her clients and her programs extend across 6 continents. So then I've got to ask, which continent are we missing?
I don't know.
Would that be Antarctica? I think Antarctica is.
Probably. Yeah.
I think Antarctica is its own continent that doesn't get as much love as the others. Welcome back
Thank
to
you.
the Awakening World. And just the question of the day, what is your vision for an awakening world? What are some of the tips that you'd like to share with our audience tonight?
Thank you, Scott. And hi, everybody. I'm Mirabai, and I want to share a little bit about what the awakening world is and what that means, because I think everyone has a different concept of what that means. And so first of all, the world Mother Gaia, she herself is a living being, just like we are in a body. She's also a divine being or goddess in a body, in a form, with chakras and meridians and energy lines and ley lines. And she herself is going through her own ascension awakening process as she is going into a higher dimensionality or a higher state of being, if you want to call it a higher dimension of consciousness. And so things are changing dramatically. And we're in a very unique cycle on the earth right now, in the sense that in the Mayan tradition, they would say that we're in the 10,500-year Baktun of the age of the new sun, which is the beginning or the dawning of the full golden age. And then humanity itself is awakening. In other words, we choose to wake up, we choose to ascend, we choose consciousness, we choose to know who we are, we choose to remember who we are. And in that state of remembrance, we stop destroying ourselves, we stop destroying each other, and we stop destroying the earth. And what is awakening? Awakening is when we come out of the realization that we are separate, that we are individual, that yes, we are unique, yes, we are individual, but that's only on the 3rd dimension, or 3rd dimension of consciousness. On the higher dimensions, we actually are all one being. There's only one self, one being, one life, and that's unity consciousness, or Christ consciousness, or cosmic consciousness. And so when we come into that, if you want to call it the beginning of that awakening, is into the 5th dimension, if whatever you want to call it, humanity is awakening to the realization that we're not separate, that we actually, whatever we do to the other, whatever we do to another, we're doing to ourselves. Whatever we do to the planet, we're doing to ourselves. So we're looking in the eyes of the beloved, the sacred essential self, everywhere we look. And it is through that realization that we liberate from pain and suffering, and that the more we're able to spread that love, and spread that awareness of consciousness and oneness and self-realization, and be the light and be the love and bring unification and help others to awaken, the more we're going to see this 100th monkey syndrome, where the awakening spreads amongst all of humanity at this time. Because if you choose to stay on the planet in the future, in the timeline that we call the future, where infinite possibilities exist, then you're choosing to awaken. You're choosing to stay here, you're choosing to awaken. So we have an awakening Mother Gaia, we have an awakening humanity, and those that are not choosing to awaken or not choosing to be the light, to be in the light, may not stay in this version of Earth. And we talk about the new Earth and the new humanity, and that was coined by Sir George Trevelyan. Sir George Trevelyan began the New Age movement, and he and many other wonderful founders like Eileen Caddy and Dorothy McLean and Peter Caddy and so forth, all formed the Findhorn Foundation and this New Age movement on the Earth. And that was the beginning in the 60s, where the word really came out all over the world about this new golden age that we had entered into. And now we just entered into the age of Aquarius. Then you know what has just happened with the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse. So we've just come into this massive time of awakening on the planet. So we've gone through the portal from the darkness into the light. So we've gone through the dark night of the soul, and now we're stepping into the light. And so my work for the past 30 years, thank you, Scott, for calling me an elder. I think he means elder in the sense that I've been at it for 30 years, traveling the world consistently or constantly, working with groups of individuals and groups of people to help them awaken, to liberate, to free their consciousness, to bring them out of suffering and separation. And whether that's through healing the body or whether it's through expanding consciousness, the main way that I do that is through transmitting the light. And transmitting the light, if you like to think about it as the light is the highest frequency in the universe. It is a universal message, or it has coding within it that contains frequencies or energies that activate the chakras, that open the meridians, that raise the vibrational frequency of the body, and it draws somebody through the resonance effect from a lower frequency to a higher frequency. So from density to illumination. And when we come into the experience of the light or the experience of the illumination of the light, then we remember who we are. Oh, I am free. I am joyful. I am happy. I am love. I have a purpose. I came here for a mission. Everything in my life is a lesson. And am I learning my lessons in this playground, in this movie of life, in this school? Or am I choosing to stay asleep? And so when we are activated in the light, we are awakened. And that's really what I bring to the world, is I push light into people, I bring light into people, I activate people to remember. And that's a beautiful gift indeed. And so I'm going to share that gift with all of you tonight freely and give you the experience of a light transmission and have you experience what it feels like to feel the tingling in your hands and your feet and your body, and to go into that state of unity or oneness or remembrance of who you are. And so we're moving out of this lower self, egoic mind self or mind-oriented self, where we are caught up in the illusion. And what we say is that everything is real on its level, because knowledge is structured in consciousness, because consciousness has different levels. And so we're evolving from being like a toddler race of humans into growing up and becoming more adult in our species. And as we grow up and become more adult in our species, we want to preserve the whales, the dolphins, the coral reefs, the indigenous people and elders and tribes. We want to preserve the rainforests. We want to clean up the environment. We want to have our beautiful divine mother Gaia's body be pristine and sacred. And we want to restore the earth and the life of the earth. We want to honor all animals and beings as sacred instead of losing all these trillions of species that we've lost all over the earth. And so we are actually shifting the paradigm through the collective awakening of humanity and the collective awakening of consciousness. So here we are in the golden age, the age of the new sun, in the awakening world with the new earth. The new earth is this emerging earth that is actually moving through her ascension process to hold this higher vibrational frequency of more of the consciousness of heaven on this earth, and to support all those awakening humans that are awakening alongside Mother Gaia. And so we look into the eyes of our beloved fellow human beings and we gently carry them back home to the self, the light, the awakening within, the awakening of consciousness. And so we can celebrate this new humanity that's emerging, and we can encourage all of us to hold hands and to pull the rest of us with us back into the light. And so what is the light? The light is actually the divine self. The light is our true nature. The light is the pure frequency of energy or vibration that brings all forms into being. All forms in existence, the multiplicity of forms, come from the sound and the light, the pure sound. And we're going to hear some beautiful song and devotional song tonight, which is sound frequency, sound codes, and then the light transmission. And the others that are going to do healing tonight also are going to bring this frequency to us of restoring us back into our highest vibrational essence. And so let's experience a little bit of that now. Is there anything else, Scott, that you'd like to ask me before we go into sharing my particular unique gift of awakening or global awakening that I've been dedicating 30 years of my life to, which is the sharing of this light transmission at large?
I'm just so grateful to have you with us and sharing your gifts with us. Is there anything anyone needs to know as far as eyes open, closed, to receive this transmission?
Thank you, Scott. I'm honored to be here and back again. I think this is my third or fourth time here with you.
I think so.
And yeah, so I'd love to invite everybody just to raise up their hands like this, and just to be aware that we have these beautiful energy centers called our chakras in our hands and in our third eye and our heart and throughout our spine, and to remember that we are souls and the soul transduces its vibrational frequency down, 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 and then enters through the chakras into the body and through the meridians in the body, which are the energy pathways for the soul to incarnate into form and to cause the body to be alive. Without the chakras and the meridians, we would not be alive. So in the same way that the earth has meridians and chakras and ley lines, we're going to receive this energy into our chakras, which are the portals of light that bring our soul into the body and allow this body that is made out of the elements to come alive. We're going to fill the meridians and the chakras with light. We're going to bless up any parts of our life that need healing. We're going to draw the energy into the spine to raise that Kundalini Shakti through the spine. And we're also going to send this light into the ley lines, the dragon lines, and the earth portals, where the sacred sites of Mother Earth and her chakras need to be even greater or more greatly strengthened and activated, so that we can bring more light into the earth, more global awakening, and we can see this awakening of the new humanity and the new earth and the new humanity in the golden age, in the new age of light. So being a light bearer today, you receive that light and you send that light. And I encourage you, all of you, everyone in the audience, ever watching this, for all of the future, present, we ask that all timelines, all dimensions, past, present, and future, receive this blessing of the light. And we ask that we may all be forgiven for all the ways that we've hurt others. And we ask all others to forgive us for all of the ways in which we've hurt them. May we all forgive each other. May we all forgive ourselves completely and totally, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, sexually, financially, and in all ways completely throughout the past, present, and future. Please, divine light, thank you. Divine light, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And with that little ho'oponopono, I invite you now just to feel the beautiful frequency of the light, the lightning, the wind, the divine energy, the healing energy, the golden light, the light of all lights, to transmit through you and to you. And we send it back to the world, Mother Gaia, and to the awakening humanity now. We'll go into silence and just see what you feel with your eyes closed. Sense the energy. Feel the energy coming through you and into you now. Here we go. We'll begin now. And we all together now send this beautiful light into Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, into her earth chakras, into her earth meridians, which we call ley lines, which are pulsating, vibrating energy lines that wrap around the earth. And we activate and empower these portals of light around the earth. And we visualize the circle of light as we hold hands around the world, bringing forth the awakening world, the awakening humanity, as we come into this new time of all times. We visualize and we see what we would like to see happen in the future of our beautiful awakening world. And you can go ahead and visualize that now. How would you like to see our future? Beautiful. And now we invite humanity to rise up, rise up, rise up, and awaken. Awaken to who you are. Awaken to the inner light and the inner love and the gifts that we are all so richly blessed with, so that we may come together with wonderful solutions. And together we may forge the pathway to creating the new earth. And we send our light and our love to all of the awakening humanity now. And we receive the blessings as they ripple over us. And so it is.
Oh, beautiful. Let's just kind of percolate in that beautiful field of energy for a moment. And I want to invite everybody to maybe put into the chat box what your vision for an awakening world is and what came out. Oh, I felt tingling in the fingers, although maybe it was because I had my hands up for so long. No, seriously, I felt tingling right off the start. But yeah, people pop into the chat box what you experienced and your vision for an awakening world. And we are going to learn a little bit more about Mirabai Devi. Her website is easy to remember. It's her name, mirabaidevi.org. Make sure it's .org, not .com. And that's mirabaidevi.org. What would you like for us to share with our audience? What would you like for them to know about?
I think mostly right now the private sessions to help people to awaken and to free themselves from karmic baggage, to receive the intuitive readings, energy healings, light transmissions, and Akashic record readings that I do with people with very intricate, in-depth light work and energy work. And also the spiritual practices that I train people in. So all of that can come through a private session.
Okay.
And I would say that specifically people can find that through the website or through the phone number that I put on the chat bar.
Oh, okay, great. And do you, I assume you do your private sessions through Zoom?
Yes, through Zoom, yes. And of course, I'm on tour a lot all over the United States. And right now I'm in Massachusetts and upstate New York for the next 4.5 months. So if anyone is in the area, they're welcome to join me in person for workshops and programs, seminars, and private sessions. And we'll be doing many different programs, otherwise on Zoom.
Beautiful. I'm going to read a few of the comments that have come in, Mirabai.
Thank
Ellen
you.
Victoria writes, thank you, beautiful. My vision, cooperation, curiosity, communication, collaboration, and community, the 5 C's. Kurt Kruger writes, the following are roles. Oh, that's Kurt's bio. We'll read that later. Reverend Jeffrey writes, as part of his vision, Mirabai, bringing in the realization of our connected universe as part of the galactic family. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Dr. Laura actually has a question for you. We're already running late, but I'm going to go ahead and ask this to you, but if you keep the answer fairly short. She's asking, Mirabai Devi, I resonate with everything you've discussed. Thank you so much for the light transmission. Please give me a little of your higher guidance. How do we stay high vibe while protesting injustice in the world, such as the genocide in Palestine or anywhere else in the world? What kind of protest or rally would you plan? Great question. Tough question.
Right. I would say that actually the guidance that I'm receiving is more that no matter what's happening in the world around us and our activism, our sacred activism that we're engaged in or involved in, we still need to remain within, in consciousness, connected to the neutrality of the spirit, the neutrality of the divine, because that neutrality or the consciousness of spirit within us, through practicing mantras and affirmations and constant forgiveness prayers and forgiveness practices, through silent meditation, guided meditation, self-love on a daily basis, is what actually keeps us outside of the matrix and connected to that infinite self, that true eternal self that is unchanging, birthless and deathless. And without being rooted in that consciousness, then it is very easy, if we get caught up in our sacred activism with too much anger or resentment or emotion, it's very easy to get sick. And so we want to stay underneath with our sacred heart, connected to the wellspring of self-love and spiritual practice. I'd say that would be my biggest message.
Beautiful message. Absolutely beautiful. And Kurt agrees with you. He says, protest not. Mother Teresa suggested only positive actions. Focus on what we want. And when I've had Reverend Michael Beckwith on, he's also said, don't worry. All the old funky systems will naturally collapse. Our best effort is creating the new paradigm, creating the new systems.
Yes.
And at the same time, I do want to honor those who do feel called to be activists and to be sacred activists. So, certainly no judgment of that choice. But I appreciate and respect your response. Mirabai, thank you so much. I know it's East Coast. You've been traveling, so you may not be with us much longer, but stick around at least to take a look at all the comments in the chat box.
Okay, will do. Thank you, Scott. I just want to say I just got back from Glastonbury and being on the Sacred Glastonbury tour and the Chalice Well, and I'm so filled with the spirit of Glastonbury and all the beautiful energy that comes from spending time in that multidimensional ley line portal vortex world of the ancient mysticism of Glastonbury. So I share that with all of you tonight, and I hope you can feel the depth of that transmission that came through me as I bring it back with me, because I still haven't fully arrived back yet. My subtle bodies are catching up with my physical body.
I think, Mirabai, you must have been there at the same time as I was. So I was just there last week, and so up on the tour. So it must have been a calling for us both, right?
Oh my goodness, I was on the tour last week also.
Yeah, we might have just bumped by, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who's that? Yes.
Bumped or crossed on the, I think I climbed over 1,000 stairs.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yes, and meditated at the top in that gale force wind. It's
Right.
like being a peaceful warrior to get up there.
It's so fun. Yay.
Yes.
Nice. Feeling you.
Yay. We were there
Amazing.
together.
Well, thank you for bringing that
Spirit.
beautiful energy. I'm having some FOMO right now, but thank you for bringing that beautiful energy.
You'll make your way there, Scott. You're doing a beautiful job. Thanks for having me here tonight. And as always, I love your message. It's so important right now for the world and for all of us to hear this again and again. We can't hear it enough.
Thank you. And let us know when you're going to be in California or Oregon. Let me know if you're coming to California or Oregon, especially Northern California, where I am, Bay Area.
Yes.
Maybe we can coordinate an event together.
I would love that. Yeah, I'll be up there at the end of September in California and Oregon, Ashland specifically.
So let's definitely touch base like June-ish or July-ish to set a specific event, and we can definitely do an event at the Haven in Ashland.
Yes.
So
Okay, let's do it.
all
That's
right.
great. Thank you.
Take care. God bless.
Take care. God bless. Namaste, everyone.
there's some wonderful more comments. I'm going to share a few more of the visions that have come in. And then while we hear Michael playing music, I invite all of you to put more of your visions in. Reverend Jeffrey writes, I'm guided by infinite wisdom into light, which is eternal. My soul is jubilant. And Christine Michaels wrote, Jerry Anderson, our wild monk, who just celebrated his birthday. My vision is 4 words: singing and dancing together. Right on. Pia writes, beautiful Mirabai. I felt another layer of the old masculine energies peeled off my field. My feminine. Oh, nice. She continues, I noticed dragon energies coming through my body, looked kind of dark green, bluish, feeling peaceful and centered. Wow. Terry Russo wants to know if you're going to be near Cape Cod, so you two should maybe privately chat with each other to connect. Jerry Anderson, I love the thought of light bearers, the darkness of ignorance. Anyway, thank you everybody for those beautiful visions that came in, and put a few more in there. Kathy felt warm tingling energy from the center of her palms. So there you have it. All right, we are going to go to a brand new guest. Michael, welcome to the Awakening World.
Thank
you
you.
were
So good to be
referred to
here.
us, I think you were referred to us by Ayada, isn't that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Now, what's interesting as I said that, Ayada came into the Zoom room. Literally, as I was saying it, she popped up. So Ayada, if you can hear us, see if she's got her camera on yet. Turn your camera on, Ayada. Your friend here, Michael, is about to come on board. Oh, I don't see her camera on yet.
I can turn my camera on, but my room is a mess. I just got in, but okay, there we go.
What was amazing, Ayada, was just as I was introducing him is when you came to the Zoom room. So you made it just in time. So would you like to introduce Michael?
Sure, I could say a little bit. Yeah. So Michael, when I'm in Santa Cruz, I used to anyway until it closed down. I was attending Inner Light Ministries, which is Reverend Deborah Johnson's church, a wonderful church. And Michael was a frequent musical guest there. And I just loved his spirit. His musical was just beautiful. His energy was so peaceful and calming and sweet. And he's also a healer, or was working at the healer as a healer at the time. I haven't actually seen him for a few years, but I just felt that his music and his presence would be such a fit with the Global Peace Tribe. So I reached out to him and asked him if he'd be interested, and let Scott know. And yeah, all worked out.
Great. Well, thank you, Ayada, for the introduction. And a reminder to all of our Global Peace Tribers, like Ayada has referred a few people recently that have become, part of the show. So always pass on your suggestions. And Michael, what do you have for us tonight?
I just want to say I'm so grateful to be here. And yeah, as synchronicity would have it, the song I'm about to play is on my first album called The Light, as we just did all of that beautiful work with the light. And it's called Be Here Now. And I just want you to open your heart and receive it right now.
Beautiful. Thank you, Michael.
We're gonna find a way. We're gonna find a way. Be here now without fear. Don't you go and worry. Be here now with love. 'Cause there's no need to hurry. We're gonna find a way. 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 We will find a way.
We're going to go to gallery view for some twinkles. Let's give him some great appreciation, and let's
Thank you.
remember to be here now. I'm wondering, as he was singing that, how many of us were thinking, of course, of our beloved Ram Dass, and how many of you was Be Here Now, that book, like one of your first? I see Mirabai Devi is twinkling. You know, that was like one of our first major books, right? You know, and it was so beautifully designed, so creative, and as a teenager, it's like, whoa, it was like opening up a whole new world. So, you know, thank you for that, Michael. Michael's going to come back. He's going to do another song for us, but I want to let people know his website, where all things Michael live, It's a beautiful name for a website, superconsciouscreator.org. Welcome to the incredible world of creative development. Michael Shervat, a super conscious creator, and you can read all about his story a little bit there. I'll read just a little bit. He's on a mission to share the transformative power of the super conscious recode. So I got to ask you, brother, what is the super conscious recode?
Yeah, it's this amazing discovery that I discovered in the past year and a half, actually. It's working with your own superconscious. You can also call that your higher self, your true self, whatever you want to call it. And it has the ability to actually make a dramatic shift in perception, in the way that we perceive reality. And for people who are struggling or feel stuck or going back between feeling all the possibility and then completely stuck in it, it helps actually transform and come into a place of creation. And just, as we're all creating this new earth together, it can be scary, right? So it helps you overcome that fear and really step into the true you.
Wonderful. Well, it's great to have you with us, and we look forward to, we'll bring you back on in about 1 hour. Looking forward to hearing your second song.
Thank you.
I'm really excited about our next presenter. When she was on the show previously, she really touched a lot of our hearts. I know she's very special to Reverend Jeffrey, one of our regular Global Peace Drivers. And I am talking about Karina Angela, also known as Karina Angela Wynn. And a little bit about her. She is the best-selling author of Transference, Connecting to Your Soul Self. That's the book that we highlighted when she was on our Authors That We Love show. So she's a teacher, a facilitator, and a researcher, most of all a visionary for the field of consciousness. And she's dedicated to bringing health, healing, and science into the mainstream for our awakening world. She's helping people all over the world to elevate their conscious awareness, healing and clearing traumas, and connecting to their soul source. So, Karina, thank you for coming back on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. This is great.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. And I know you've come into some of the shows that you haven't been on, and I always appreciate that when our presenters pop into the shows that they're not on to see what's going on. So, thank you for that. I want you to know that that does not go unnoticed. Yeah.
I enjoy it, so thank you.
What do you want to share with our audience tonight?
Yeah. Oh gosh, so much. But with the theme of how do we create an awakening world, I think it comes back to self, right? Self-care, self-truth. What is your truth? What do you envision for our new world of awakening? And when we take the time to come into ourselves, we can create a practice, we can create time within our day to dedicate to ourselves and honor ourselves. Because when we honor ourselves, we can honor others deeply. Right? So it's just going deeper and deeper of connection in with ourselves every day, and creating a wonderful practice. It can be 5 minutes, it can be 10 minutes, it can be an hour, but we're dedicating that time to ourselves for our healing, for our dreams, for our inspiration, to revisit our vision. And when we do that, it becomes a ripple effect, because we're touching people in different ways, and we're seeing people in different ways, and we're letting go of harsh criticism and ego and all of those things that tend to bog us down and hold us back. Because when we connect in with our self, our soul self, we create this amazing relationship with ourselves. And then again, it's that ripple effect of creating that for other people and inspiring other people. And then other people are like, what was my dream? They would start revisiting what they know to be true. And I find it more and more that when we create that for ourselves, there's such a deep honor,
Mhm.
and we can honor others deeply, and then they honor us and other people and their families and their friends. And it's just this beautiful synergy that is happening, and that connection and the deeper connections. And what I'm interested in might be, something that you're not really interested in. We can have still that connection of and honoring that person's truth, because we honor our own truth. So there is no, you know, um, hesitation or doubt or judgment.
You
And
know, I want to mention something that you inspired me to remember. One of my very first spiritual teachers, his motto was, when you honor yourself fully, you honor the entire universe.
mm,
And what you were just saying just reminded me of that. So I want to acknowledge that it was a spiritual guide. Um, anyway, I'll let you continue, but you reminded me to
thank
just
you.
share
No,
that.
thank you for your interjection. That's wonderful, and I'm glad that triggered a remembrance or a download or opening, because when we share our depth, that's what happens. It's opening these beautiful doors left and right and center and back, and perhaps you are the light for others to see. Perhaps you are the dreams. Perhaps you are the hope. Perhaps you are the inspiration. Perhaps you are the breath. Perhaps you are the healing. Perhaps you are everything. So, again, going back into center, soul self, and really honoring yourself, I think is first and foremost for change, for dramatic, amazing change that we see in everyday life. And we begin to see it more and more clearly as we go back into center, going back into source.
What are some of the ways that you help people? What are some specific practices and ways for people to really reconnect to their soul self, especially in the midst of the chaos of the 3D world surrounded by muggles?
Oh, there's so many. Um, I love to when I talk with people or my clients or friends, family, whoever it is, it's what works for you. There's not one fits all, because we're all individual. We're all our unique, amazing selves. So perhaps I love to walk and you don't, you know. So the tips are, coming back to what do you love? What do you enjoy to do? And then expanding it, with that. Perhaps you're an amazing meditator and you love to meditate every day. Go deeper, really refine that practice. Maybe you don't like to meditate at all. Maybe walking is your meditation. Maybe sitting in a tree is your meditation. So it's finding those beautiful tools inside that you're passionate about and going deeper within that. And again, it's that honoring of self, of choosing things that you really love to do. I had my first mentor, Betty Bethard. She's with us still, but she had passed many, many years ago. But I met her in my teenage years, and I studied with her for 7 years. And she was just a straight shooter. She's like, if it feels great, go with it. If not, chuck it. And I really took that to heart. She wasn't the sugar coaty, fluffy, woo woo. No, she was straight shooter. And I just appreciated that so immensely. And, she's like, so I started learning, how to meditate, and everybody's in these chairs and they're upright and feet flat on the ground. And I was so incredibly uncomfortable that I just couldn't get it. I was like, what is going on? I'm like peeking around and everybody's like, whoa, I'm like, something's wrong with me. And she just kind of looked at me. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, that's my cue. What am I doing? So I checked in with myself. I'm like, I'm not comfortable. So I listened to my body, and my body said, get on the ground, get in lotus style, and go. And that's what I did. So I got out of the chair. I'm on the floor, lotus style, and that was my position that I loved. And that was me. That resonated with my field, my body, all of that, right? And so that cued me into like, oh, listen to yourself, really focus in on what your visions are, what your body is telling you. What are your thoughts? Are you really honing into your thoughts? What is your self-talk? And if you're catching yourself, oh, not such a great thought, change it. And that's the self-growth, that's the self-awakening, and that's how we can awaken the world on so many beautiful different levels.
Beautiful. I love it. Tell us about your work with people.
Yeah.
Because I know that you are changing lives. So when somebody says, "Hey, I love her vibe. I might want to work with her." What is that like? What's it like to work with you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, people reach out to me and we have just a conversation, we connect. It's almost like an assessment, and really, I kind of just listen and I take notes. And where are you? Where do you want to go? What's happening? Do you have dis-ease within the body? Are you wanting a different mindset? Where is it that you are, and where do you want to be? So I work one-on-one that way and develop with them. So I'm, the note taker, but then we dive in deep and then go really deep. And then it's a transference. So through my book, Transference, Connect Your Soul Self, when I wrote it in 2019, all these amazing exercises that I went through and learned from the teachings of Edgar Cayce and Gladys Davis Turner, they just came in, and it was so practical, so simplistic. And I went through them myself, all the exercises, and integrated them, and things started happening, things started shifting. So I started utilizing them with my clients and the people that I would help, and would see amazing results. And the results weren't me, it was them. I think what starts happening is the transference of energy opens doors, just opens the doors for new possibilities. And when I'm just, the catalyst really. And so that's how I help a lot of people. They just come to me, and we work on whatever they would like to work on, and we clear it. And yeah.
One of the things that I know that you've been really bridging is science and the metaphysical world, the healing world.
Yeah.
Tell us more about how you see that all coming together.
Well, in many ways, I think the more that we raise our consciousness and we're expanding and exploring different realms, let's say realms within ourselves, realms here, but as we're tapping in, we're holding a very clear vision within ourselves. What do we want this world to be? And then when we're up and out, we're, connecting in with, the field. And when we bring it back in, there's so many different doors that begin to open. And then we share the information or share the frequency or share it just within talking to another person. And it becomes this ripple effect. And then, science is evolving. They're becoming, more attuned to the changes, the frequency, the information that is, it's all around us, but it's the shifting that is occurring. And once we begin to shift, we all shift together. And I mean, leaps and bounds, even what last couple of years. I mean, look at what we have accomplished. Look at where we are going. And it's so incredibly exciting to merge and to bridge all of the information because we all are one. We are. It's just, it's inevitable, and it's just when we open our minds, when we open our conscious awareness more and more, the synchronicities are just boundless. And it's just so incredibly beautiful to watch it transform. And yeah, it's just a really beautiful thing. Oh. I get incredibly emotional because I tap in and it's just these waves. I mean, lately it's just been so incredible. I'll just cry out of nowhere and it's just like this big, huge wave of amazement and love and the possibilities that for all of us that are just so incredibly amazing.
Mhm. Her and Christy Michaels wrote that they had studied with Betty and what a jewel she was. And Eleanor Joy is really appreciating what you're sharing. And when I work with clients, I'll put myself on for a minute here with you. And tears begin to come, and almost always people then stuff it. They'll change their, they'll try and stuff it. And I say, no. What do the tears have to say? Let's go into the
It's
world.
so
of tears.
important. No, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
And also, when you're in a hard time, go through it. You cannot
Yeah.
jump over it. You can't go around it. You can't go under it. No way. Even, I mean, it's painful. It is, you just can't sugarcoat that. I mean, to go through it, to get the support, to keep going is so important. So I honor your work, Scott. You're doing amazing work. And I just love that how you're helping people in so many different ways. It is letting the tears flow. It is letting the joy flow. It is letting the enthusiasm flow, the excitement, the exhilaration, the blissful joy, and also the sorrow and the loss and all of that. Because when we do stuff it that does not benefit us at all, and it takes much longer to clear. And then bringing in the humor and the smiles and all of that. It's embodying the all. We all are all, right? So it's embodying all the emotions. It's going through all the emotions. It's being who you truly are, your beautiful truth, and sharing that with the world.
Absolutely. One of the things I've observed in the most advanced beings that I've had the opportunity to connect with, and I've had an amazing life in terms of being able to connect directly, personally with a lot of remarkable human beings, interviewing them and having them on my shows and such. And the most masterful ones are fully present to what is, and they're not trying to change reality. They're like, oh, sorrow is happening right now. Oh, joy is happening right now. Oh, compassion is happening right now. But there's not a need to change it. And that's really what I'm hearing you say that's so powerful.
Yeah, it is. And so being present here and now. So I think that's really beautiful. And to catch ourselves when we're not present, you know, when we're not present, it's like, and back to our presence. Oh,
My dog was giving me the cry. She was like, I need some attention. So I went to go, she was on the bed. So I went to go bring her up. She was like, she doesn't whimper that often, but she was definitely giving me a serious whimper. Well, let's go take a look at your website. And her website is,
and just click on that little X and it'll go away.
no, we don't want it to go away. What we want to do is put our information in there,
Okay.
because it's very important that everybody does that so that you can stay in touch. So I did this before, but I want to just remind everybody when it first opens up, because you all are going to want to go to the website and you want to connect with this wonderful woman and her website. There we go. Now we're all set. There we go. Oh, oh God, it's
See, that's N7BMC. Let's see.
okay, great. But then if you don't get like the right uppercase or lowercase or the thing, I'm not a robot, really. I'm not. Okay, I'm going to come back to you for a minute.
Hit that X.
So now we're stuck in confirming that I'm not a robot. I'm really not. Really.
Try
Okay,
again.
the website is trinehealing.com. Trine, TRINE, healing.com. We're going to go there one more time. There we go. And tell me, what would you like for me to share or show the audience tonight?
Let's see. Oh, there you go. Let's see. Can you scroll down? Yep, there you go. That's my book, Transferring.
There's that wonderful book. We love that book.
And I'm working on the second one. The second and the third one are already done. It was written all in 2019. So I'm compiling it all and putting it into the computer. So hopefully the second one will be done soon. So I'm excited about that. But
Yeah,
the first one is just amazing. So
and best for people to order from Amazon.
yep. Yep. And then
Well,
also sessions. I have a few sessions I think coming up that are available. So you can go to my website and yeah, connect with me through my website. Yeah.
oh my gosh, you just bring so much love and joyfulness and positive energy. I get ecstatic just listening to you speak. And remember what we both agreed on, everybody. When the tears come, really listen to the tears. Don't stuff them, but really check in and see what the beautiful tears have to say. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Karina. It's so good to have you with us. Thank you very much. Isn't she a gem? Just really, I mean, of course, everybody is a gem, but yeah. All right, I got to check and see what's happening on the agenda next. I think, if I recall correctly, we have another Omashar song coming up next. I got so lost in that. Yes, I was correct. It is time for another Omashar song. Hey, brother.
Well, goodness me.
Karina, you rock. You really do.
Doesn't she? I'm going to put her on. You can.
I mean, Mirabai too. But we're good. We're staying in the now, and holy smoke! Just the joy that I felt at the reflection. I was going to say your presentation, but you don't present. You just are. And I just feel the child in you playing all the time, even when you're being serious, as the child is just playing. So anyway, just acknowledging that. Thank you so much. Cool. And now we're gonna.
Now for something completely different. Here. And I think we are good. We're good. Right. Me, 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 me. All rise. Take a deep breath. awakening world is rising through our hearts, through our lives, as we take the next steps together, walking tall, no disguise. Here we are again, loving all we see, lift each other up, let each other be, healing all the past, healing you and me, loving all that's gone, loving what's today. The awakening world is rising through our hearts, through our lives, as we take the next steps together, walking tall, no disguise. The awakening world, nothing left to say, nothing left to do. Let your spirit shine, let your spirit through, because time is what we have, time to think anew. Let inspiration flow, let inspiration throw. The awakening world is rising through our hearts, through our lives, as we take the next steps together, walking tall, no disguise.
I love that song. Big twinkle time, everybody. Let's all twinkle our beloved brother. And how perfect that, of course, he would play that song tonight.
Yeah, right.
The
What a-
moment you started the prelude, the first couple chords,
What,
I knew, here it comes. It's
what
our
yeah,
theme.
bring it on. Yeah, what a hard choice that was.
Great choice. And I got chills the moment I
Me
realized.
too. It's such a
That's what you-
powerful song, and we all know it, and we all wrote it. So there it is. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Our
Wow.
song.
Yes, yes, yes. Is that Lynn Leaf?
That's Lily.
Um,
Hey guys, love you.
and I'm gonna keep you on for a moment because how perfect you play the Awakening World song as we introduce Ray Amana,
Right.
because she wrote the book, The Awakening World.
Yes.
Um,
So this is the song title to match your book title. So there it is.
so now you have a song to put along with it. So let me tell people a little bit about Ray Amana. She is also one of those people that is just super multi-talented. She's a best-selling author, a life coach, musician, sound healer, and visionary. And I think, like really everybody on tonight's show, she's working for the transformation of humanity and the planet. She has a bachelor's degree in philosophy, a master's degree of social work, and master of divinity. She's also a certified professional life coach, Reiki master, yoga teacher, harmonium practitioner, and most of all, she's a mother. She's been doing this work for 25 years, wide variety of things. And she's also the founder of Sing the World Awake, a motivational music, movement, and mindfulness experience for children that provides social emotional learning. It activates their highest potential and deepens their relationship with self, other, and our planet. What a wonderful, wonderful woman you are. I met her at the retreat that we had with the Twin Rayan March, and heard her sing, and then we were at the beach talking, and I learned that you had written a book called The Awakening World, and I said, you gotta do a show on that. So, well, and you have so many different skills. I know you're going to sing for us a little bit tonight, but before you bless us with your singing voice, what would you like to share from your wide cadre of experiences? And certainly I want to hear about your vision for the book and maybe some tips and tools from the book.
Thank you so much, Scott. And thank you for everyone who is here sharing your energy. And you know, what I've witnessed in this shift into the awakening world is it's a shift in this unified field of consciousness where we're coming together once again in unity and remembering that we are each other and how to walk and act in that unified field. For me, this journey, you know, probably began before this lifetime. Like I'm sure many of us were like, oh, sure, that sounds fun. Let me go try that. And, you know, we get here and it's a whole different ball game than we anticipated. But, you know, really for me, the messaging started turning on in 2011. I was having dreams and visions that there was this big shift coming for humanity and that I was part of it. And one dream that I recall specifically was my feet were walking on a red dirt road, and I was shown that if I only realized how little time we had left, I would do all that I could to bring more love to humanity. And during that time, I began meeting people and having experiences which really mirrored to me my own inner world. And up until that point, I kind of felt like I was alone in it. I was, you know, going through the motions, doing my best in in this matrix world with a successful family and business and education. And but in about 2011, I started to meet people and have experiences that were mirroring back to me this inner knowing. And once that started to open for me and I started to recognize that I am another you, you are another me, that there's this whole profound world of our creation and that we are being supported by this unseen world of allies that are here from across the galaxies singing to us and loving us and supporting us and reminding us who we are and uplifting us, then I was like, well, I'm all in. Like, I'm following my heart from now on. Now that I know it's true, now that I'm not alone in all this. And, you know, for a little while it was wonderful. And I often, you know, kind of give that description for people who are beginning to awaken. Because as I was shown years ago, that this awakening is happening in tiers. And as one tier awakens, then it creates the ground for the next tier to awaken. And so for me, as my awakening started, it was very beautiful and very exciting and so aligned. And it was almost like the light turned on and showed me the way forward, and I just start walking down that road. And as I'm going down the road, the light starts getting less and less. The clarity starts getting less and less. The affirmations, the validations, the people who are showing up in front of me becomes less and less until, you know, vast periods of time where I felt like I was just walking in the dark. And, you know, when I'd have a moment of clarity or a moment to come, you know, above the water for air, Spirit would say, you're being trained right now so that my voice is the most predominant voice that you hear, so that you won't be influenced, that you won't fall prey to, you know, all these bright lights or all these different possible pathways, that you're being so honed right now so that you can hear the messages that are coming through and so that you can do what you came here for. And I feel like for so many of us at this time, you know, maybe we've been on paths that, of course, at times seem so beautiful, but also may seem really challenging. And, you know, this year, you know, just to speak into the present moment where I feel like the most aliveness is, this year for me has been crazy. It's been, you know, these beautiful peaks into magnificence, and then these vast valleys of despair. And, you know, it's just been kind of like rocking and rolling. And yesterday I was on a whale and dolphin boat with my dear friend Michelle Anderson from Awakening Code Radio and Elizabeth April. And we did get to see dolphins, but the water was really more turbulent than usual. And I'm hanging on the front of the boat, and it's just going up and down. And it felt like such a metaphor for what we're experiencing right now on the planet. And, you know, if we can find our center and keep staying with our breath and listening more deeply. You know, for me, a big piece of this awakening process was also my listening. Years ago, a friend of mine said, you know, this goes back to how the book even started. So years ago, a friend of mine said, let's sun gaze. And I said, you know, what's that? And she's like, well, we're going to wake up before dawn and we're going to look at the sun. And I was like, that is not for me. I don't wake up that early. And then, but, you know, she was really convincing. So I said, okay, I'll do it. And so I started getting up before dawn, and I would, you know, stand barefoot on the earth and drink in the rays of the sun into my body through my chakras. And then afterwards, I would send light and blessings to the earth. And I had these 9 Munai Ki initiations, some people may know, that come from the Q'ero people of the Andes Mountains in Peru. And I would flow energy through these different lines, and, you know, also then tune in intuitively to where the earth needed support. Sometimes I would see the tectonic plates, sometimes I would see women in childbirth. And so each morning I did this. And after about 10 days, the earth started speaking back. And I had no idea that there was all this wisdom there. And what I was shown is that all wisdom from all time was contained in the energy field of the earth and in our energetic field. And it was available to us as we build relationship. And as we build that relationship, we open to those messages that are coming in. And so for me, it was a matter of flowing energy to the earth. That was like starting the conversation, like, hi, you know, I love your hair, like, you know, I really like your shirt. But in this case, it was, you know, here I'm sending blessings and love. And so I've continued to receive messages over a course of 5 years, which then I compiled into the book, The Awakening World. And there's a subtitle, which is The Return of the Divine Feminine. Because also what I was shown during that time is that the world that we're living in is, or the world we had been living in, was only a partial representation. There are so many missing and deleted aspects. And a massive piece of that is the representation of the divine feminine, of the role of the feminine in religious iconography, in mythology. You know, the conquering nations kept rewriting the history books. So many, even of the planets that we have represented now, these are Roman planetary bodies that are named. And before those, they were Greek. Before them, they were Egyptian, and some of them were goddesses. And many of the stories, when the patriarchy came in to take over, they changed the story of the goddesses to those that were very not so flattering. So a lot of our representations of ourselves, of women as the feminine aspect, has either been tainted or just is completely devoid in our culture. So what was shown to me is it's really important in this day and age, we're here, part of this awakening is divine union, coming back into balance of the masculine and feminine, the polarities, finding our way to that middle path, anchoring of the middle pillar between the polarities. But in order to find our balance, first we have to reclaim some of those missing pieces. And so that book speaks to some of those pieces, some visions that I had, some stories that I was given. You know, one of those is Christ has a sister, and just this representation of the Christic force being both masculine and feminine. And just, you know, in my visions, in my connection, having these messages come to me was so heartwarming and beautiful. And I recognized at some point along my path that true spiritual teachers, seekers, aspirants, we all have this antenna. And the antenna, everybody's getting the same messages with our antennas. And, those spiritual teachers, they're telling us the messages, they're telling those who can't hear the messages for themselves. And it feels like part of this new age that we're entering into, the dawning of the golden age, the end of the old timeline. It's coming into the more democratization of the Christic consciousness, a time when we really need to learn how to listen, how to receive the messages, how to purify our minds, our hearts, and our bodies, how to hold our center in the midst of strong influences that would like to use our energy to feed an old collective narrative. So a big part of the book are just little tidbits of how to walk that path, how to navigate, how to listen to ourselves, how to work with our dreams, the recognition that we are supported by this unseen world of allies, and that, also in this awakening process, as we awaken, we start to see everything. And, part of that everything is the darkness, is the distortion field, and also all the injustices that have been done to us. But in that awakening, we have to keep digging. I read something recently and it said diving for the light. It's not like ascending for the light, but in some instances, like we have to dive into those places of darkness, those places that seem like there's no repair. And when we can find the light there, there's a redemption that happens. So when we can reclaim these parts of ourselves, then we can come back to wholeness.
I'm first of all, there's so many things you've shared that I want to ask you about. Plus, part of me is having serious FOMO. I would have loved to have been on that boat with you and Elizabeth April and Michelle Anderson. I love both of those women. Have been on the show many, many times, and they're both amazing human beings. So, and I can only imagine all the other people that are on that boat. So, wow, that's a very cool group of people. But there are two things I definitely want to ask you about. I want to ask you about your perception of Jesus's sister. We've done multiple shows about Mary Magdalene, but I can't recall ever hearing anything about a sister of Yeshua. So tell us about your perception or your vision for that being.
So it was the Christ who had a sister, and the Christ. So the way the vision came in, and it came in during the December 21st, 2012 portal. I was actually in Sweden at the time, and the vision came that the king and queen of the universe created the perfect divine children, a boy and a girl, and they lived in this paradise. And then a darkness swept over the land, and with that darkness, it brought a thirst for power. And there was, in the vision, it was like these children walking through the forest. A group of men came and took the boy. And the boy said, then his sister tries to catch up, and the boy says, I don't know her. It was the boy protecting his sister because he saw what was coming, and he didn't want her to be exposed or to go through what he went through. And she approaches him again and again in different lifetimes with the same request. I'm your sister, I'm your equal, I should be here by your side. And each time it was, I don't know you. And meanwhile, as the vision went, this kind of patriarchal world sought his wisdom as a source of power and influence, and usurped his message and tainted it, as well as many other distortions. And so meanwhile, this kind of counterpart walking through lifetime after lifetime and embodying in many different forms as mother, children, father, lovers, brother, sister. So the idea of, it's more like a twin soul, so that's like they were created together as aspects of the union of the Divine Father and Divine Mother. And so then kind of this piece comes of the masculine counterpart I guess the time has come that both of the children had been imbued with this golden glowing world of light in which all the purity was intact. And because his world had been touched, usurped, tainted, it was a little bit distorted. But her world was fully intact because no one ever thought to look. No one ever thought that she had any value or there was anything there at all. So they come back together, he raises her up, and then she restores those places of distortion in him. But it was basically like, we hid, in this case, the vision was we hid the beauty in the feminine divine so that she could heal the world once we started to realize that she even existed.
So when are you going to write the book? No, you are not allowed to not write this book like soon.
Well, that little story is in there, the little story. And actually, I've been working on making it into a musical.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because, so, another part of this vision with the awakening world is seeing people in the streets singing and dancing all together. And, with the music program I have, Sing the World Awake, that was also inspired out of this vision. I heard the cries of the suffering of humanity and the desperation and the pleading. And I saw beings come from all over the universe's galaxies to assist Earth at this time and aid in the upliftment of humanity, either through the ethers surrounding the planet, but also through embodying points of darkness to transform this world from the inside out. And so many of those places, those beings are our children. And I was shown that they need a reference point in this world. They need to tap into vibrationally that same place out of which they came so that they can remember who they are. So for me, so much of my work that I do with people is group concerts, group singing, creating unified fields driven by intention so that we can shift the collective consciousness through entraining our energy fields, our brains, our bodies with song. And when we're singing, I also was shown that we can't hold any animosity against one another. There's not this like ego. And another piece of this, I have a singing school for adults. It's called the Songkeeper School. And I teach sacred singing, earth honoring, and ritual. And that came about because I had a calling to go and sing to sacred mountains. And after much resistance, I finally went and sang to sacred mountains. And I was shown that traditions from all time always sang to the land. They recognized the land was alive, and to keep it living, they needed to sing to it. And it's so important at this time that we return and we sing to the land to bring back its vitality, bring back its health, its wholeness, and also the mountains are sacred wisdom keepers. So when we sing to the sacred mountains, we build that relationship which begins to open their wisdom back up to us, to help not only us remember who they are, but also empower these earth keepers, sacred place sites. So as they're empowered, then their wisdom can once again care for us. So I bring that up because a huge piece of this is the honoring of the earth. And so when we create these group fields, we're singing to our Mother Earth. We're singing to God. We're singing to the God in all things, in the all that is. So it's not like, oh, there's this performance and we got to make sure that we sound the right way or, everybody has to be mic'd. It's like, actually, we don't even care about how we sound. We're closing our eyes. We're inviting in, we're asking that our vessels be purified so that spirit can sing through us, so that each note that every one of us brings joins together so that once again we are the symphony of creation. And it's said that when we sing together with one heart, we're heard by the great mother of the universe. And it's actually the sweeping grace of that great mother which has the capacity to transform the earth.
You're amazing. I knew you were amazing, but now I really, really know. I'm going to read some of the comments that have come in, and then we're going to hear her sing. George writes, I've been doing that without knowing this, just to express myself. Dr. Laura writes, I love singing to the land, to the water, to the birds and the animals, bees and insects, trees and plants. Carol writes, we are all here remembering who we are. Eleanor Joy writes, Rhea is an amazing woman. Thank you for having her share with us, Scott. Grace Denise writes, that is such a big story, which the world needs now. talking about your Yeshua sister. And Carol writes, Jesus Christ and his superstar sister. So there's a chorus there for you. Susan Bloomquist writes, the hidden, forgotten woman, the ones who made it happen all these years. Susan writes, this is beautiful, still talking about what you were sharing. And Ayada writes, oh, well, that's actually, I'm not going to go to that one. Sylvia writes, Rhea and others, you might be interested in connecting with Robin Land's song, so we'll have to go check that out. So you are inspiring us significantly. And would you bless us with
a song? I would love to.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I was in Egypt last year. I led a retreat to Egypt in April and May. And at the end of the retreat, I went to the Red Sea and sang to the Red Sea. And as I sang to the Red Sea, this is the song that it sang back to me.
And Omashar wants me to remind you to make sure your original sound is on.
Thank you, Omashar. It is. Okay. So hopefully, I'm just gonna, my singing voice is louder than my speaking voice, so I just turn it down a little. Okay. When you stand at the crossroads, need help moving forward, when your head and your heart can't agree where to go, look to the sunrise, look to these muddy shores, there you will find me, I am forever yours. Look to your heartbeat in deep times of need. Open your arms wide and receive. 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 In your times of trial and through every tear, I'm in every smile and each word that you hear. So look to the sunset, remember to breathe, and open your heart wide and receive. 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 I was the first one to love you and to call out your name, to believe in your dreams and be sure you do the same. I heard you in the silence and chose to bring you to life so I could witness your magic and watch you take flight. So look to the sunrise, look to these mighty shores, there you will find me, I'm yours forevermore. Look to your heartbeat in your time of need, and open your arms wide and receive. 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 receive.
Wow. Incredible. Everybody, let's just give some serious twinkling there. Mm.
Thank you so much, Scott. It's been such a blessing.
Oh, wait till you read all the comments. Karen writes, I'm so glad you finally got Rhea on the show. I knew she would fit right in with the Global Peace Tribe.
She's
So-
in my singing school. She's
Oh my
very
God,
dear,
what is
Karen.
the world, right? Omashar says, blessings and a virtual hug. Grace Denise writes, wow, so beautiful. Adora writes, perhaps one day our guerrilla choir will join with your choir and we'll sing together.
Amazing, yes.
Carol writes, tears, oh, I'm lost in there. Carol writes, tears flowing from this beautiful song. I'm so tender this weekend already. Her husband passed away recently, and this would have been her anniversary. Carol writes, I am an open door that no one can shut. Taken and inspired, of course, by your song. Oh my God, the messages are flying in. Christy writes, brilliant idea to awaken the world in song. Sylvia writes, a grateful trill from her wooden flute. I think she was playing along with you while you were playing with her. So Christy's asking where she is. She's in Topanga. Although you may be coming further north.
Yes, I've been on a bit of an adventure lately, but right now I'm in Topanga. This is Topanga.
Well, this is your website, and it's her name, Rhea Manna. She spells it REYAMANNA.com. And I know people are interested in how they can study with you and how they can get involved in your coursework. How can people sing with you? Where do they go?
Amazing. Well, send me a message, and I always love to connect with everyone who is interested. So, so that's one thing. And my singing school, I have an online singing school, and also I'm doing a retreat in Mount Shasta, the Songkeeper School retreat in August. And we did it last year. It was very powerful. We go and we sing to the land, we make offerings, we have water ceremony, fire ceremony. And the land is so healing. And by us honoring the elementals and the spirits of that land, they really come in and tend to us and reconfigure us and heal us and bless us. But we're going there to be in service to those elementals. And also in June, I'm doing a kids music teacher training, but it's also an inner child immersion. So the way we do it, the way we deliver the music for the kids is really by being in that space of our own inner child. And often one of my favorite parts about doing the work with kids is when I'm in a situation with the children and their families, often the parents cry while we're singing, because we're singing to remember who we are. We're singing, you know, all these positive messages into our bodies, and maybe we didn't really grow up like that. So it's almost like a reprogramming for that part of ourselves that's hurt and wounded. And you know, they say that your branches can only reach as high as your roots go deep. And I think like we can only shine our light as much as we've addressed our shadow and worked on giving ourselves that self-nurturing. So in all my programs, I emphasize that is the use of song to access emotions, to work through you know, stuck and blocked energies, and also song as a form of alchemy to, you know, move the energy through the meridians of the body and to help us move the energy throughout our life.
Beautiful. Well, it's just such a blessing to have you with us and for you to be a part of our awakening world, and for us to know. And I'm going to stay on top of you to write that book, because I got chills as you were telling the story, and I can tell by all the messages that we got from our audience that who are touched by it. So there's a great musical there, a great book there. So
Thank you, Scott. And I love that our antennas are in the same place, getting the same awakening world message. It's happening. And, and thank you for having this ongoing conversation, because there's so much happening in the planetary field right now. And people really need the support, not only in the remembrance of, all the good and what we're here to create, but also like in these places of darkness, like, okay, what's here for us? Like, I feel like the dialogue is changing moment to moment. Like the space out of which I wrote that book in 2017 is a much different space than we're in today. And the triggers are heightened and the effects of our actions are heightened. And we really need to just stay in dialogue to help us to navigate everything.
You and I spoke about this when we had one of our private conversations about how we are the imaginal selves finding each other. It is true that the more that we can acknowledge each other and lift each other up and share and inspire each other, because so many of the movies and the future visions that are presented, especially through the movies and through the media, it's all negative. It's all this dark vision of the future, this dystopian nightmare scene. And so for us to hold the vision of this beautiful vision for the future, and that we are together co-creating it, is so important. And I didn't even get a chance to ask you about being a mother, so you're gonna have to come back on the show. And we have a show about motherhood, because I'm curious how you manage all that you do as an entrepreneur and to be a successful mother at the same time. It's quite remarkable.
Thank you. And it's a great conversation to have, because also it helps us examine our archetypes more deeply, which is part of what many of us have come in with burdens to carry as part of the rewriting of some of these old stories. So it's it's a bit of a liberating conversation, I'm sure, for many.
Absolutely. Well, let's definitely have that conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raymond, for your presence in our awakening room. Well, that sure is a tough act to follow. And thank goodness we've got Kurt Kruger with us, because there's not too many people that could follow that act.
Who's not following that act? My goodness. There's no way, like you said, to follow any of the acts that we've actually had. And I don't look at them as acts.
No, of course not. Of course
And
not.
the beauty.
That's my inner Ed Sullivan coming out.
I understand. Well, you're good at that too. You are a channel for so much beauty. And I so appreciate just to be here. Wow.
For people who don't know, Kurt he's prolific. And he has produced 16 Peace Lab programs for Humanity Rising and for Global Solutions Summit. And he's absolutely dedicated to creating peace in the world. We're going to, of course, take a look at his work. He's the founder of Success Systems International. But Kurt, just take it away. What do you want to share about our awakening world? What tools, what vision do you want to share?
Well, the biggest thing is it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with how this guy was brought up and nurtured by every communication and event in my life. For instance, I was born and raised in Los Angeles. And 2 years after being born downtown, we moved to San Fernando, which a whole big valley is named after it. And I was raised here in the time when the gangs in my little town had a 50 caliber machine gun on the corner once. I then went over to Alemany High School instead of at San Fernando High School and competed in sports there, and got to do what I got to do there, and actually got into a fight once, almost killed somebody. But again, all the things that happened in this life made it so that I was constantly seeking more peace. I organized our neighborhood so that we could, let's say, fight off a gang that came into our neighborhood because they came into where we were just living peacefully. And then I stopped that kind of craziness and developed some of my other skills, especially as an athlete, because I got my scholarship to the University of Colorado, and saw that life was so much grander than just competing, than just, in a way, almost like fighting for life. We should, instead of fighting for life, bring peace to life. And when I read that book, Be Here Now, in the early 70s, because I've been doing meditation since the early 70s, having met a guy named Muktananda Paramahansa and touring with him and so on, and living in his ashrams and getting Shaktipat and so on and so forth. And then even told people, even like this guy who was a little bit crazy, that, you know, you could give the same thing, just like we had the beautiful blessings that each of us can give. We can each give the blessing of our heart, because our heart is the connection with the divine. Even deeper than that, every bit of microfiche, every bit of the coatings of every cell is a connective force of that highest power. And Nassim Haramein had an incredible documentary that just came out, The Connected Universe. If you get a chance, see it. You'll understand how science, especially the advanced physics, is verifying all the wisdom of the ages. And when we tap into that understanding, how could we hurt somebody else? We're hurting ourselves. We're hurting my brother or sister, my relative. When we throw away seeds instead of throw them where they can be feeding the earth, feeding animals, or growing. We can throw seeds where there's no trees, along the sides of highways, especially things like hemp. Hemp will grow just about anywhere, but hemp is the most useful grass in the world, and many people don't know it. And years later, after being at the university and having taught in the ghettos of Los Angeles, taking away weapons from students and being on hijacked airplanes and all this craziness that happened in this life, I got to start something called the Institute of Sports Psychology. And it was over in India because I had trained the Indian team for the Asian Games in sports psychology, and that was applied Siddha Yoga. Eating properly, that can give your endurance and strength up to 50%. Your IQ can go up 20 points. Mood swings can balance. And how do you feel? You're healthier, wealthier, and wiser. The meditation is a state of mind that all the great athletes verify after having gotten into it in their peak performance. Give you an example. At the Olympic Scientific Congress in Seoul, Korea, where I was presenting on was on fitness for the 21st century. Bob Beeman, I think, was the person who keynoted the sports psychology section. He verified that in his jump of 2 feet further than anybody had in history, usually it's broken by barely even an inch, if an inch, he jumped 2 feet further. He would have jumped over my head. I'm 6'1" right now, in the middle of his jump. But he was in that state of mind that spontaneously, because of the conditions at that time for him, he got into that space and boom, boom, shambo, the wellspring happened. He got sprung so far and so fast. And so many other athletes. So we started that. We did the Success Systems International, this organization that brought the teachings, these so-called airy-fairy teachings, these new age teachings, these esoteric teachings into practicality for businesses. So Fortune 25 companies being on, how many continents? 5 continents, and influencing people in incredible areas. But I love teaching the common kids, because when we approach the children, when we give them character instruction, like the Living Values education program is by far the best one that I've found. But there are so many other things that bring peace. Within 2 years, 90% reduction in violence at a refugee camp. Refugee camps are noted for violence. The lady, Diane Tillman, who actually lives in Southern California, she actually went over to Joburg, where my wife is from, in Johannesburg, South Africa, and she designed a program for street people. Similar kinds of results. Bring it into Los Angeles Unified. I've been working at it for years to get that into the school system more. They're getting in some other kinds of systems, but not near the effective one as this. And when we approach governance, when we find that we can actually build bridges in the ways government is working and design something called ranked choice voting. All of this we brought forth in the Peacemakers Circles and Network, because in the Peacemakers Circles that we created, they're all over the world, and everybody master hearts practices in masterminding and master hearting how to solve the issues of our local area and grander areas from even into the world. But if we're not peaceful, how can we bring peace? If I get upset at my wife, which very seldom happens because I did thank God for the perfect relationship, and 32 years later, boom, boom, shambo, I got it. But there's so much. I would actually love to just dialogue with anybody and everybody online at any time. But please feel free to connect up with Kurt. And I'll put the information in the chat in regard to joining, and the information about a simple thing called the Peacemaker Meditation. I'll give you an example of how effective that is, because it's a psychosomatic spiritual practice. And what it is that as we're ready to breathe in, we've been backwards breathing in, and we say, peace in everything, and we touch our heart and let our heart touch our fingers. And as we breathe out, we bend forward saying everything with peace. Peace in everything. Let's do it. Everything with peace. As we do this peace in everything, we are allowing that everything with peace to come out, because it's there. It's peace in everything. And we do it at a 5.5 count, very slowly, because that is the resonance count. If you look at what science is proving now, again, Nassim Harriman says so much about that, and so on. And we get into this space, but actually, we can get into it quickly. Within 5 minutes of breaking down in a talk with a lawyer and the judge, so to speak, I was giving a deposition. I started to break down because I was at a mass shooting at Saugus High School. And for the first time, really big time, I broke down like that. And I asked for 5 minutes. And I did this simple practice. And 2 hours longer, I was able to give the deposition. So this is how powerful the Peacemaker Meditation can be. And anybody can use it at any time. You don't have to move. If you can't move, you don't. Peace in everything, everything with peace. You can use your finger like this, peace in everything, everything with peace, and so on. Here we are. If we lose our touch with that sacred space, that space that we should open every program with. Get people centered. The hearing happens better. The tuning into the internal being occurs. Just like what happens with people when we tune into incredible music that we get to end our program with. But I'll put these things into the chat as well as onto Facebook. And I'm so happy to be with you. Anytime anybody wants to connect with me, it's the peacemakerscircles@gmail. Thank you.
We'll put that into the chat
Oh,
box.
The zooming peace. Here's the peace salute. We see the world as it is. It's all love. And as we are ready to be able to send it everywhere, we say zoom peace and we throw it out to the world. And what does it create? But peace in everything with peace. Thank you.
I got to ask you a question.
You can ask me anything you want.
Did you go to San Fernando High?
I did for a semester, and that's when the gang had that machine gun on the corner.
Yeah, well, the reason I ask, and how old are you?
I'm only 78.
Oh, because I grew up in Granada Hills, and our great rivalry was with San Fernando High. And
they had a great football team a lot of
well,
times.
our football team and San Fernando High met for the city championships.
Yeah,
We won. Granada Hills won.
yeah. Well, who was the quarterback? That's the thing.
Actually, we had Dana Potter. It was before John Elway.
Oh, okay.
Our quarterback back then in 1973, no, 1971 was when we won the city championship, and our quarterback was Dana Potter. And a few years later, John Elway came through.
I was at Crenshaw High School when we played in the city championships in baseball against Granada Hills. Elway ended up, instead of just playing first base, he ended up pitching, and we had a guy named Darryl Strawberry who ended up playing for the Yankees and so on, a great power hitter.
Of course.
And he had a home run out of Dodger Stadium, and we ended up losing, but it was a kick-ass game.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for bearing with us as we had a little bit of high school memory there. Kurt, thank you so much for being on the show.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. And it's always a blessing.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we're winding down. We are going to have a beautiful KES group healing, but we are going to hear from Michael, our new musical friend, one more time. And a chance for us to just kind of integrate. And if anybody wants to put kind of closing messages in of how they were inspired by Kurt and his work, that would be wonderful. And hey, Michael, have you enjoyed your evening with us?
Yeah, it's been amazing. This is my first time, so it's been incredible.
Well, hopefully the first time of a whole new chapter of your life joining us.
I believe so. That's what I was feeling.
Beautiful. And what are you going to play for us now?
So what I'm going to play is a song, it's about that moment that you meet someone, could be anyone in the world, and you meet them and you just know your life is never going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's called I Saw You and I Knew. I get lost sometimes in your piercing eyes. You make me realize that I hold myself back. I hold myself back. And I get hurt sometimes by my own desires. Then I look into your eyes and you're not holding me back, I hold myself back. I saw you and I knew you'd set me free eternally. Suddenly I see there are no boundaries, no love too strong, no right or wrong, just beauty and grace when I see your face, your face. When I see your face, your face. And I get scared sometimes that I'm playing with fire. Then your eyes make me realize that nothing's holding me back, nothing's holding me back. I saw you and I knew you'd set me free eternally. Suddenly I see there are no boundaries, no love too strong, no right or wrong, just beauty and grace when I see your face, your face. When I see your face, your face. I saw you and I knew you'd set me free eternally. Suddenly I see there are no boundaries, no love too strong, no right or wrong, just beauty and grace when I see your face, your face. When I see your face, your face. I saw you when I knew.
One more gallery view, Twinkle. I love that it's a romantic song. It's so sweet to hear such a romantic song. It just like opens my heart and I get all yummy, juicy. Especially on Saturday night. It's Saturday night. So
That's right, it's Saturday night. It's time to feel juicy.
It's time to feel the love. And I felt so much love tonight for all of our beautiful guests, our beautiful presenters. Mike, each one just so magnificent. And Michael, it's wonderful to have you with us. And thank you, Ayada, again for introducing Michael to us and reminding us that people can invite us. And one more time, you can learn all about Michael and his wonderful work by going to his website. And again, his website is that wonderful name, superconsciouscreator.org, superconsciouscreator.org. There's a lot. I was kind of perusing it. There's a lot going on his website, including featured products, how to be the light in the dark. I love all these different products you have. Be Here Now, of course, he sang that beautiful song. You can get a Be Here Now cup. So let's support Michael by going to his website. And is there anything you want to say about your online training?
Yeah, it's free, so go ahead and experience it, And the other thing is, all my music is linked to the website too. There's a music section, so you can go to the music section.
I'm filling out
that
this
all out
thing
too.
right now. Hang on. So let me fill this out, and then we're gonna go to the music section. But I got to fill this out because I want to get the free thingy.
Yeah, get it. It teaches you all about the superconscious.
All right, there I go. All right, there it is waiting for me. Now let's go back to Superconscious Creator and let's find your music. How do we find it?
You know what? Something happened to all the links, it looked like at the top.
Yeah,
Having a
there's-
little
there's
website
there's
issue
not-
at the moment.
Yeah, there's not a toolbar.
There usually is. So I'll look into that tonight so that people can actually get to it. But another way to find my music is Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, Apple Music. I'm everywhere. I'm on all streaming platforms.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
And remember Bandcamp, everybody. Bandcamp pays the most, I believe.
Yep, I'm there too.
Yep. So, Michael, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Well, we are winding down, but I do want to play actually a video, and I just remembered I need to open it up, which takes a moment. There's actually a video from one of our previous shows when a wonderful, you've seen her so many times on the show, Dr. Marty Casey, and she provided what she called like the 10 action steps for creating an awakening world. It's going to take a moment for that to open. So while we do that, I'm going to actually go into a very important Global Peace Tribe announcement. We all love Marianne Williamson. She is concluding her presidential run, and she is going to spend an evening with us on Wednesday night, May 15th. Of course, we always do our shows on Saturday nights and on Wednesday nights. And our show on Wednesday night, May 15th, is going to be an entire evening, just us with Marianne Williamson. And so please spread the word. I'll put the poster into our chat box. But spread the word. This is a great time to invite people to join the Global Peace Tribe, to come in, ask Marianne her questions. She's going to be talking about what it was like, this run for president, and kind of a downloading with us, just like she did last time. For those of you who were with us on February 4th, when we last had her on the show, we became kind of where she just downloaded, because we're her tribe, we're her people, and we're who she feels most comfortable with. So please mark in your calendars, invite your friends. Wednesday night, May 15th, Marianne Williamson, and we're really excited about that. All right, I am now going to share with you a beautiful wisdom piece from Dr. Marty Casey. I noticed that Christy Michaels is in the room with us. I know Christy's a big fan of Marty. I think most of us are. Anyway, here we go with a beautiful 8-minute video from Marty Casey.
Scott, one of the things that you wanted us to speak to today is making sure that we had some action steps in place to share. And if you don't mind, I would like to kind of switch gears a little bit.
Thank you.
And
That's good. Thank you.
Oh, sure. And so I have 10 action steps, and I would like for everyone to write these down if you can, and do what you can. That's the bottom line. Just do what you can. This is no judgment, just love, right? Here we go. The first one is simply start with yourself. Start with yourself. A lot of times it's in these spaces and doing the work, we hear a lot of people talking and saying different things, and we get stuck on what they have done or said that we don't agree with, and we get stuck, and then we don't do anything. Let that be your motivation to move and do what you need to do. So start with you. 2, get involved. How can you even really truly give an opinion if you are not involved or making yourself available to be a part of the change? We all know what most of the problems are, but are we really willing to do the work? Are you raising your hand with an answer? Get involved. Number 3, have these hard conversations. It's so important to have these conversations. You can't keep avoiding them. We have to talk about Sometimes those things that is difficult to understand or even say, but if we do it respectfully, I think we can really get to the bottom line. We don't want to just focus on the problem. We have to merge into the solution. And the only way that we can do that is by communication and having these conversations. So Scott, kudos to you for building a platform that allows us to respectfully come with our differences, yet lead
Yes, amen.
with a greater understanding. Number 4, you must be willing to donate your time and your money and any other resource that you may have available to you. Right now, again, in my opinion, my little small opinion, Ukraine would not be still standing strong if they did not receive the help that we're so willing to give them. Because this, in my opinion, is a very unnecessary war and a hit on humanity in a way that we all will suffer. Are you donating your time and your money and your resources right now? That is how we really make the difference. World leaders don't change the world, they change themselves. Educate yourself. If it's something you don't understand, look it up. It's okay to ask questions. Again, as we have stated so many times today, we're speaking from our own personal opinions. You don't have to just take our word for it. Go ask some other Black people. Go ask some other white people. Go and look it up for yourself. Look into history. Look and see where we are right now, and then see the future. Do what's necessary to educate yourself. And don't just educate yourself from where you stand. Some of you may be doing the work locally, but you may need to educate yourself nationally. Some of us may be on national platforms, but you may need to educate yourself globally, because all of it is combined. It's all interworking together. Number 6, look for places to insert more equity. Where is it missing on your job, in your home, in your communities? Where is it missing locally, nationally, and globally? How can you make the difference? How can you volunteer and say, you know what, I don't see enough there. I'm going to raise my hand and show up and see what I can do to be of service. Don't go in with a negative mindset, because that's where you turn and change the energy to becoming something that's not needed. If you're going in with the mindset to make a difference and to fix it, show up with your heart open to say, I am here, and I might be the only Black woman in the room, but I come to at least offer a voice so we don't leave anyone behind. Number 7, take it to social media. However, take it in an anti-racism way. You cannot look to get a positive when you see a negative and you add more negativity. You have to remain positive. See the light in darkness. And if light is not there, you be the light. Let your spirit be the light. Number 8, support. It is just as important for those who have created a business, and 9 times out of 10, a small minority business has jumped into business because something was missing in the world. That's where you will find really that work being done, boots on the ground. So support that effort. Give in that way to small minority businesses that you can clearly see is doing the work. Number 9, volunteer in spaces that are missing our voices. When Scott calls me to come and be on his platform, Scott knows plenty of people of my race and culture. However, I know Scott's main following is larger than let me say this, his main following may not be my culture. So I come and I say yes because he's open to receive, balance it out. So why would I not show up? Make sure you do that. Volunteer in those spaces. And number 10, last but not least, and you can always add to this list, and guess what? Send it to me. We don't know everything, not at all. So let's add to this list collectively. If there's something I'm missing in here that you're thinking of right now, put it in the chat. But number 10, don't just be a number in the room. Add action. When you leave here today, don't just say, oh, I was part of 34 people that was on the screen today and however many hundreds of people watching on Facebook. Don't just be a number. Be somebody that's doing something. Because if one person out of this 34 leave off of here today and go and do something, we're a lot further today than we were yesterday. Thank you.
Whew. Thank you, Dr. Marty, for being so freaking awesome. And boy, those are 10 really powerful ones. I see a lot of great comments have come in. Thank you very much. And right on time. 8:30 is when we usually do our KES group healing. But I'm going to bring my co-host up for a moment because we always like to hear from Omshar. Hey, bro.
I'm here. It's good.
Hey.
I was just getting ready for the next great leap forward. What an amazing show, and how fortunate we are to have Marty's voice, Dr. Marty, at the end there, because it kind of encapsulated everything. And I've really gotten to appreciate where she's coming from, because initially it kind of rubbed me a little bit, the way she presented and was so direct, but over time I've got to hear her voice, and I really, really appreciate her. So brilliant. Thank you. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, thank you for being with us. Thank you for the Awakening World song.
Yeah.
And
it's a group effort. Everybody on the show tonight, how phenomenal. Kurt and Karina and Holy Smoke, Rare, and yes.
Yeah, it's been an amazing show. And we get to wrap it up in a beautiful way with Pia Avia, who's going to lead us.
It's like 5 in the morning in Iceland now, I think. I have, sorry?
3:30.
3:30. I was extending it for you so we can get a few wows. But I have 2 friends over in Iceland at the moment, in Reykjavik. So yeah, by coincidence, yes.
Wow. Well, thank you for being with us in the middle of the night. And it's been a powerful show. And I know that it's going to be a powerful KES healing. And I can just share with the audience a little bit about what Christic Energy System is, and then take it away. It's all yours.
Great. Thank you. Well, first I want to say thank you to everyone who created this show together. It was beautiful, even though I was resting a lot in between. But I appreciate everything that was said and shared and brought into the field that we all co-created together. And yeah, so the Christic Energy System, like that's always a good question. What the Christic Energy System does. Well, I understand and I feel it works on multi-dimensional level. And as we have heard earlier from one of the speakers, is that we are here to embody the soul, to bring in the soul into the body, into the meridian systems, into the nadis. Yeah, we are also our higher self, and we are here to embody all of that, which is our divinity. And the Christic Energy System basically allows me to create an energy field that allows you to get into a state to receive, which you are already, but you haven't forgotten because of all the density and maybe traumas and conditionings and programmings that are kind of like covering the truth of who you are. So with the Christic energy system, we get to remove one layer after another layer to get you closer and closer back to the truth, back to your freedom, your inner peace, the love that you are, the radiant, shiny being that you are. And yeah. So what I also felt important is to mention today is actually the moon. For those that are interested in astrology, the moon is currently at 26 degrees at Sagittarius, which is the degree for the galactic center. So that means that we have, if you are aware of certain planetary alignments, we have more, if we have more, or we are more conscious of that, we are able to pull in the consciousness that is available to us. And if you like to do some research, maybe, because I'm not an astrologist, a professional one, but you can maybe do some research about the galactic center, what it means, and that actually allows us to tap into divine or higher consciousness. And I love to be the facilitator today to support you in actually opening up to it and receiving that energy, to receive upgrades and deep, deep clearings and healings. Yes. So, all right. So with any healing, I always invite people to get really comfortable, because you want to be so comfortable that the body can feel safe to release what can be released today, and that it feels safe to receive what it's meant to receive today. Yeah. So if you would like to lay down, you can also sit, but I invite you to lay down and to close your eyes. Yeah. And really set the intention that you are ready to release anything that doesn't serve you anymore. Whatever that might be. Might be old stories, past hurts. It might be traumas, conditionings, past lives. Today, let's connect hearts and really create the field where we feel all so deeply held in divine love, feeling so safe to fully connect with us on a deeper level, to release and let go anything, and to open up what's truly meant for us. So before I begin to read a prayer, I would like to ask you all a question. And I was inspired by someone else to ask myself that question. And that question should be taken into the healing. And the question would be, how do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about how you speak, act, respond, look? How do you do things? How do you feel about all those different aspects within you? So that's a beautiful question to contemplate on and to go into the feeling of it. And I invite you to really surrender into this healing space that I am offering you today, to feel safe enough to go into whatever might come up for you, because it's time for that to be released. It's okay to feel it, and it is needed. It needs attention. It needs to be felt. So I want you to take a deep breath now into the heart and exhale and release. Take another deep breath into the body and into the heart, and release and make space. And with another inhale, I invite you now to bring your awareness all the way down from your heart, all the way down to the base of your spine and into the crystalline core, the core of the planet, connecting your energy field with the crystalline core. with the golden dragon lines, the grid lines, the ley lines. And allow yourself to connect with the wisdom of the earth. You might be receiving messages, sensations, feelings, knowings. And allow that energy now to come all the way back up again into the heart. And within that feeling of safety, open up now to the divine above your head, to the sun, the central sun, to the galactic center, connecting, tuning into the moon or what it stands for, the energetics of the emotions, connecting with the galactic center, and allow that energy to come all the way back up or down, all the way back down to the top of your head, into your heart. And before I read the prayer, it's important that you need to agree to the healing to be able to receive the healing with a yes. Okay? I, Pia Riedelmeier, call upon the Cosmic Christ Supreme Intelligence to support and facilitate this group KS holding session. I ask permission from all receivers present to receive this group holding with the highest good and divine grace for all involved. I request on behalf of everyone who is listening right now and those who are going to watch the replay to become aligned for the duration of the session to the divine intelligence of Christic energy system with grace, with ease, and with joy. I invite the cosmic Christ energy to connect with us now in the most appropriate way for all involved. May all that transpires in this microcosmic reflection of our group constellation support and uplift the ascension of the entire human collective and all sentient life. I also call forth assistance from the Divine Heavenly Mother and Heavenly Father presence to overlight this group container with pure, unconditional love from the Most High. May all be known through this connection of pure love, so that this group holding session anchors in us in the most benevolent way. Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. Thank you, and so it is. So bring back the question I've asked before, like, how do you feel about yourself? Let that sink in and really feel into the truth of how beautiful you are, how amazing you are, how loving, kind, sweet, creative, inspiring, motivating, perfect, whole, complete. The reason why I have asked you the question to feel into how you feel about yourself is because the world you want to see outside yourself needs to be created from within. If you can create a happy place inside of you, where all your parts and pieces, all your aspects within you are in harmony, peace, in a respectful connection, where all those parts and pieces of you are walking in the same direction, if they're all in the same boat, agree on everything, this is where we will find great harmony on the outside of us, because the world that we live in is created through our thoughts and emotions, our magnetics. So by contemplating on that question, how you feel about yourself, you might have discovered parts that you maybe have judged or rejected, neglected or abandoned. And I invite you to bring all those parts and pieces back into the heart, bring back the love, you know, give them attention, care for them, see them for what they are. They just want to be loved and integrated. And the more you will do this work of bringing all those parts and pieces back to you, the more the heart will open up. The more the heart will open up, the more the inner children inside of you will come out and play. They want to play. And I actually witnessed it in all of the speakers. I could see all the inner children just speaking and sharing from the heart. And that's what the world needs. But the world is co-created by each and every one. When we are sinking in thoughts and emotions, when we are all on the vibration, on the same frequency, this is how we create so much power to manifest and make things happen. So my wisdom for you today is to really get to know yourself. If you know yourself, if you are the knower of what's going on, you know what truth is, you know which step to take, you know who to connect with to co-create something or collaborate, you know what you need to let go of. And with that comes conviction and confidence. With that comes self-esteem. So I invite all of you to bring all those inner children or aspects back home, bring them back home. And when you feel home and safe, you magnetically attract all those people that you co-create home on the external all together, wherever that's going to be on the planet. So that is my wisdom for today. And I'm really grateful to be here today and to share my gifts, talents with you, giving you an experience of that the inner world is the outer world, and that there are so many more realms and realities within you that you get to discover more and more, because we are truly multidimensional. So expect not just to have heaven on earth, but to remember we are already in heaven. We are already in heaven. We just need to remember.
Thank you so much, Pia, for that wonderful, wonderful wisdom. And, you know, we both share the same teachers, the Twin Ray, and they share with us that what we are divine love. And we're in the process of remembering that. And I think you did a beautiful job of helping us with that. And Susan Bloomquist writes, thank you. This wisdom explains the KES healing well. Omashar writes, thank you, Pia. Such a timely message. Carol Craig writes, namaste, Pia. Thank you. Karina Angela, our wonderful presenter, writes, so beautiful, Pia. Thank you. And thank you for Karina for still being with us. I love that. Mark's iPad writes, thank you so much. Beautiful message. So true. Karina Angela, another one from Karina. So anyway, they're coming in faster than I can say. And I do want to go to your website because she has a wonderful website. It's one of my favorite names of a website. Wake Up Your Soul Creations. What a wonderful name for a website. Wake Up Your Soul Creations.com. And definitely make sure that you put in your email address like I'm doing right now. Hopefully it's not going to ask me to click all the boxes if there's motorcycles or something like that. And there we are. No, I'm not a robot. Isn't that funny? Did you hear me ask if they're going to make me click with motorcycles? And there it is. There's the motorcycles. So there's one motorcycle. See, I just manifested. I should have, see, there's the power of manifesting. Okay. I'm not a robot. There are wonderful things here on your website, which hopefully it's going to get us to continue to our website. There we go. Past all the little steps. Pia, what would you like for us to point out? What would you like for me to share?
Well, you know, you can just share that I'm working as an energy healer, obviously, because I'm offering chaos healings, or one-on-one, but also group healings and family healings. I'm also doing land clearings, which I feel
Divinity.
it's no KS3 with
Okay.
KS.
Okay.
And I feel that a lot of people, they have no idea how much their environment actually affects them. But I can see that we are all more and more getting conscious of how important it is to connect with nature, with the mountains, the trees. But I personally feel you also want to connect with your home, because your home, it is, in my, little world, it is alive. And it likes to be used, it likes to be treated well, it likes to be appreciated. And so those land clearings that I do, they basically clear the field and make sure that you having a clean space to stay aligned, be in your center. Because if there are certain energy wobbles, let's say from previous owners or people who lived in the homes, or on the land, or the history of the land, maybe there had been some war or incidents or accidents, that all is affecting you when you walk on those lands. Yeah, so that's what I offer. And I'm also creating art, which are called high heart portals. And they are a living experience. They also have their own intelligence and consciousness. Truly, everything is alive, everything is consciousness, and it's up to you if you want to engage with it or not. It's not just trees, plants, everything wants to be treated with respect, basically. So,
and there's you can learn all about her art by going to the website. Just click on my art projects, and people can purchase the art from you.
Yeah, I do have a couple of paintings left from last year's exhibition, but I'm also doing commissions where I'm tuning into someone's soul and just reading the energies that they actually need to fulfill their mission. So that's my specialty, is tuning into somebody's energy field and see where they are at in life and what needs to be changed and adjusted. So I'm a very good counselor or advisor, supporter, way shower, guide, working as a mentor. Yeah, and the healings basically, they're not just art, they're multidimensional art. To me, this is something that I communicate with, I meditate with it, and it creates an energy field within your home to protect you, but mostly to bring you joy, because obviously there are a lot of colors in it, which, bring out the inner child. Yeah.
And thank you for that emphasis about joyfulness and our inner child. And seeing that all of our presenters tonight, you could see their inner child coming out and playing. I loved that reflection from you. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Pia Avia, thank you so much. And I know we'll see you again soon. Thank you so much.
Yes. And everyone, take care of yourself. Drink lots of water. Rest as much as you can. Sleep as much as you can. Be so loving to yourself like never before. Get to know all those parts and pieces of you, and ask them what all those parts and pieces want to experience and create on this beautiful planet. Thank you. I love everyone dearly, and blessed be and sleep well.
Beautiful message, Pia. Thank you. You know, there's a website that kind of came up. Kurt put it in the chat box, and people were commenting on it. So we are 1.1. We are 1.1. And so I just wanted, for those who are still watching on Facebook, this is a beautiful website where we can learn. I guess is there anything you want to say about it, Kurt? I see that you just popped on.
Oh boy, Ray and I have known each other since I gave a presentation at the Santa Monica Futurist Salon in the early 90s. And he originally came from India. And of course, I had lived there a number of years and so on. And so we really hit it off and have been friends ever since. But he is one of those geniuses, not only of visuals, but also in creative expression. And he's gathered together a number of people that are very similar to him in their own rights. And as you see this, it has so much in it.
Yeah, my God, there's so much going on here.
Yeah. And so I would highly recommend that if anybody wants to turn people on to something valuable, that is valuable.
Great. All right. And again,
Lord knows my website isn't, it's like an archaic site from the early 90s.
as we are 1.1. We
Yeah.
are 1.1. And a message just came in for you, Pia, from Dr. Laura, saying thank you so much. For that healing. You were so right. I discovered that I love about 85% of myself, but there's still a 15% of me that I have to heal. Thank you. That's a very honest and vulnerable sharing. Thank you. Rose is pointing out that my microphone has not been in balance, so I apologize for that, but the show's about to end. So next time I'll do a better job of sound checking myself. And thank you, Rose, for being with us. But this is it. We are concluding for the evening. It's been a beautiful evening. A big thank you to all of our presenters, Ray Amana and Mirabai Devi and Karina Angela and Kurt Kruger and Dr. Marty Casey and Pia Avia and our wonderful new musical friend, Michael Chavat, and of course, my beloved brother, house musical artist, Omashar, and you, our Global Peace Tribe. And I love to see that we still have 37 people in the room, 44 stayed for the Pia's healing. So almost everybody stayed for that tonight, which is beautiful. Anyway, God's blessings, everybody. Hope to see you this Wednesday night. This Wednesday night, we're going to have a relationship show with several of my love coaches. So bring your relationship issues, challenges, and questions to the Awakening World, and we will answer them for you. That's this Wednesday night. And next Saturday night, we've got another collaboration with Soul Search. So much love to you all. Have a beautiful few days, a beautiful sacred Sunday, and we'll see you on Wednesday night.